The space station hummed with quiet tension. Epsilon 9 hung in the darkness of space like a giant metal wheel, spinning slowly to create artificial gravity. Inside one of its many conference rooms, a group of human diplomats sat around a circular table, facing 3 alien representatives from the Krell Collective. Jae-hwan Park watched everything. At 28, he was the youngest security officer on the mission, but his eyes were sharp and careful. He wore a dark blue uniform with subtle communication devices hidden in its fabric. His job was simple: protect the diplomats and keep everyone safe. The room felt strange. Most diplomatic meetings were boring. Lots of talking, many charts, and endless discussions about trade routes and mineral rights. But today was different. The Krell representatives moved oddly. Their bodies looked like a mix between giant insects and metal machines. Their movements were jerky, unnatural. Yoon Seo, a young trade analyst, shuffled her digital papers nervously. She glanced at Jae-hwan, and he gave her a small, reassuring nod. Something was wrong, but he couldn't put his finger on exactly what. The lead Krell negotiator, a massive creature with 6 limbs and a head that seemed too small for its body, spoke first. Its voice came through the translation device as a cold, mechanical sound. "We are here to discuss the mineral extraction rights in the Orion sector." Jae-hwan's hand moved closer to his hidden weapon. Years of training had taught him to read the smallest signs. The Krell's translator might sound calm, but its body told a different story. Its limbs were tense. Its metal-like skin seemed to vibrate with hidden energy. Then everything happened very fast. A sudden burst of blue-white energy exploded in the center of the room. The conference table split in half. Digital screens shattered. People screamed. Jae-hwan moved instantly, his body reacting before his mind could fully process what was happening. "Get down," he shouted, pushing Yoon Seo behind an overturned table. More energy bursts followed. The Krell weren't negotiating anymore. They were attacking. Their weapons cut through the station's walls like they were made of paper. Diplomats who moments ago were discussing trade were now targets. Jae-hwan counted quickly. 6 diplomats in the room. 3 Krell attackers. 1 security officer, himself. The odds were not good. A Krell soldier approached, its weapon charging with a dangerous blue glow. Jae-hwan pulled out his own compact defense weapon. It was smaller than the Krell's massive gun, but he knew every inch of it. He had trained with this weapon for years. The first shots were loud. The conference room became a battlefield in seconds. Electromagnetic restraints flew through the air, designed to capture humans quickly and efficiently. Most of the diplomats were caught, pinned to the floor or walls. But not Jae-hwan. He moved between fallen chairs and broken equipment. His training kicked in. Every step was calculated. Every movement had a purpose. The Krell didn't expect a human to fight back. They thought humans were weak, easy to capture. They were wrong. As alarms began to sound throughout the space station, Jae-hwan made a promise to himself. He would find a way to save his people, no matter what it took, no matter how impossible it seemed. The hunt was just beginning. The United Earth Diplomatic Council chamber was quiet. Too quiet. Yoon-ji Kim stood at the front of the massive room, her hands pressed flat against a digital display showing the attack on Epsilon 9. Her dark eyes scanned the faces of Earth's top leaders. 47 diplomats are now hostages, she said clearly. Her voice was calm, but inside she was worried. The Krell Collective has made no demands. They have not contacted us. Admiral Ta Wu-Li shifted in his seat. He was an older man with gray hair and a face that looked like it was carved from stone. "We cannot act rashly," he said. "A rescue mission could start a war." The council members mumbled and nodded. They looked scared. They looked safe. Jae-hwan Park stood at the back of the room. He had managed to escape the attack, and now he was here to give his report. No one had noticed him yet. He listened carefully to every word. Yoon-ji continued her report. Digital images showed the destruction of the space station. broken walls, destroyed equipment, captured humans lying on the floor with strange energy restraints. We have limited information, she explained. But we know the Krell attacked without warning. This is not a normal trade dispute. An older woman in a dark blue suit raised her hand. We need to protect our people, she said. But we cannot risk a full-scale conflict. Jae-won couldn't stay quiet any longer. He stepped forward. With all due respect, he said loudly, those are our people, our friends, our family. We cannot just sit here and do nothing. The room went silent. All eyes turned to him. Admiral Lee's face grew red. Who are you? He demanded. Jae-won Park, he answered. Security officer from the Epsilon 9 mission. I was the only one who escaped. Eun-jae looked at him with interest. She saw something in his eyes. Determination. Hope. Something the other leaders seemed to have lost. The council has decided, Admiral Lee said slowly, that we will pursue diplomatic channels. We will talk to the Krell. We will negotiate. Jae-won felt his heart sink. Negotiations. The Krell had attacked without warning. They had taken innocent people, and now Earth wanted to talk. That will take too long, Jae-won said. His voice was steady. Every minute we wait, our people are in more danger. The council members looked uncomfortable. They didn't want to make a hard choice. They wanted an easy solution. Eun-jae stepped closer to Jae-won. What do you suggest? She asked quietly. He leaned in and spoke softly. I know people. Friends from my old unit. People who can help. People who won't wait for paperwork and meetings. Admiral Lee heard this. His face turned even redder. This is treason, he shouted. You cannot go against official orders. But Jae-won had already made up his mind. The official channels would not save his friends. He would find another way. As the council continued to argue, Jae-won knew his real mission was just beginning. He would save the hostages, no matter what the rules said, no matter what it took. The old warehouse looked empty, but inside, things were very different. Hyun Ki-choi checked his equipment one more time. He was an ex-Special Forces soldier who never really left the military behind. His hands moved quickly and carefully over a table filled with strange devices and weapons. We're going to need more than just guns, he muttered. Next to him, Min Seo Park typed furiously on a computer. Her fingers flew over the keyboard, breaking through digital walls like they were made of paper. She was a hacker, the best in her group of underground contacts. Jae-won walked into the room. He looked tired but determined. What have we got? He asked. Min Seo looked up. I've hacked into 3 Krell communication networks, she said. They're talking about something big, but they don't know I'm listening. Hyun Ki spread out a holographic map. It showed the Krell detention station where the hostages were kept. Red and blue lines showed security systems, guard rotations, and possible entry points. The official channels are useless, Jae-won said. We're the only hope for those people. They had gathered a small team. Just 4 people who refused to wait, who refused to let their friends die. Each of them had a reason. Each of them had lost someone in previous missions or conflicts. Min Seo pulled up more information. Their security is tough, she explained, but every system has a weakness, and I'm going to find it. Hyun Ki checked a small device. It looked like a normal communication tool, but it was much more. We'll need special equipment, he said. Gear that can fool Krell sensors. Gear that can help us move without being seen. Jae-won understood. The Krell were advanced. Their technology was years ahead of human technology. To rescue the hostages, they would need to be smarter, more creative. I have contacts, Jae-won said. People who can get us what we need. But it won't be cheap, and it won't be legal. Min Seo grinned. Legal was never part of the plan. They worked through the night, planning, preparing, gathering equipment from the dark corners of human space, black market traders, Old military contacts. Friends who owed favors. A special suit came first, designed to bend light around the wearer, to make them almost invisible to sensor systems. Hyun-Ki tested it carefully. He could move across a room and barely create a shadow. Min-Seo developed a computer virus, something that could break into Krell communication systems, disable their alarms, create confusion. The Krell think humans are weak, Jae-Hwan said quietly. They think we will follow the rules. They are wrong. By morning, they had a plan. It was dangerous. It was almost impossible, but it was their only chance. Hyun-Ki looked at the team. We might not all come back, he warned. Jae-Hwan nodded. We know the risks, but we're doing this anyway. Min-Seo finished uploading the last of her computer programs. Let's go save our people, she said. The rescue mission was about to begin. The Krell detention station looked like a metal nightmare. It sat on the edge of a dark asteroid, spinning slowly in empty space. No windows, no easy way in or out. Jae-Hwan checked his team one last time. 4 people. 4 chances to save their friends. Remember the plan, he said quietly. Hyun-Ki wore the special light-bending suit they had worked so hard to create. It made him almost invisible. Almost. He would be their first point of entry. Min-Seo sat in a small ship nearby, ready to hack any computer systems they might encounter. The other 2 team members were Park Sung-min and Kim Da-hyun. Both were ex-military. Both knew the risks of this mission. We go in quiet, Jae-Hwan told them. We find information. We do not engage unless we have to. Their small ship approached the detention station. It looked like just another piece of space debris. Min-Seo's computer magic made their ship invisible to Krell sensors. Hyun-Ki would go first. He checked his equipment one more time. A special cutting tool, communication devices, medical kit, weapons that could disable Krell technology. Dropping in 3, he said. The airlock opened. Hyun-Ki moved like a shadow. The light-bending suit worked perfectly. He could see the Krell guards, but they could not see him. Inside, the station was cold and dark. Metal walls. Blue-green lights that made everything look strange. Hyun-Ki moved carefully. Each step was slow, each movement planned. Then something went wrong. A Krell guard turned quickly. Its sensor caught a tiny movement. Hyun-Ki froze. The guard looked right at him. Identify yourself, the guard shouted. Hyun-Ki knew they had only seconds. He moved fast. Too fast. The guard's weapon charged up. A blue energy field began to form. Sung-min and Da-hyun burst through the airlock. Their weapons were different from Krell technology. They fired special electromagnetic pulses that could disable Krell equipment. The first guard went down, but alarms started to sound. We've been discovered, Jae-Hwan shouted into the communication system. Hyun-Ki found what they came for. A digital map. Information about where the human hostages were kept. But the cost was high. Da-hyun was hit. His leg was badly wounded. The special medical kit would help, but he would slow the team down. We need to get out, Jae-Hwan said. Now. Min-Seo's voice came through the communication system. I can create a digital distraction, she said, but it won't last long. The team grabbed Da-hyun. They moved fast. The Krell station was becoming a trap. More guards were coming. The mission was not a complete failure, but it was not a complete success either. They had information, but they had also lost part of their team's safety. As their ship pulled away from the detention station, Jae-Hwan knew one thing. They would come back. They would save their people, no matter what it took. The small workshop looked like a mess. Computers, broken equipment, strange devices everywhere. This was Min-Seo Park's world. Jae-Hwan watched as she worked. Her fingers moved across screens faster than anyone could follow. Behind her, holographic displays showed complex diagrams and alien technology schematics. The Krell sensors are advanced, Min-Seo muttered, But every system has a weakness. Da-hyun sat in a medical chair, his wounded leg being treated. Hyun-ki stood nearby, looking at the maps and information they had stolen from the detention station. "We need something the Krell won't expect," Jae-won said. Min-seo smiled. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of someone who was about to do something dangerous and clever. She pulled up a holographic model of a Krell sensor system. Different colored lines showed how the sensors worked, how they detected movement, how they tracked objects in space. "Their technology thinks in straight lines," she explained. "It looks for patterns, predictable movements." Hyun-ki understood immediately. "So we make something that doesn't move in straight lines," he said. Min-seo nodded. She began typing faster. Lines of code appeared and disappeared. Complex mathematical equations danced across the screens. Hours passed. The team watched, waited, hoped. By midnight, Min-seo had created something new. A device that could fool the most advanced sensor systems. It would move in random patterns, change its heat signature, look like nothing and everything at the same time. "This is our key," she said, holding up a small silver device. It looked simple, too simple, but Jae-won knew Min-seo's work was never just simple. Hyun-ki tested the device. He moved across the room. The holographic sensors showed nothing. No movement, no heat, no sound. "It's like a ghost," Da-hyun said from his medical chair. The device could help them do something impossible. Sneak into the most secure Krell facility. Save the hostages without being detected. "We'll need more than one," Jae-won said. "And we'll need to test it." Min-seo was already working on creating multiple devices. Each one would be slightly different. Each one designed to fool different types of alien sensor systems. Outside the workshop, the city moved. Normal people lived normal lives. They had no idea a small team was preparing to do something impossible. "The Krell think humans are weak," Min-seo said quietly. "They think we follow rules. They are wrong." Jae-won looked at his team. Da-hyun, still recovering. Hyun-ki, checking weapons. Min-seo, creating technology that should not exist. They were not a traditional rescue team. They were not following any official rules, but they were the only hope for the hostages. "We'll be ready soon," Jae-won said. The rescue mission was about to enter its most dangerous phase. Space was dark, cold, silent. The small human ship moved like a ghost. Min-seo's special devices worked perfectly. Krell sensors saw nothing, heard nothing, detected nothing. Jae-won looked at his team. They were ready, worried, determined. "We have one chance," he said quietly. Hyun-ki checked the stolen Krell station maps. They knew exactly where the human hostages were kept. A deep section, heavily guarded, almost impossible to reach. But impossible was not a word this team understood. Their ship approached the Krell detention station. It looked like a giant metal spider hanging in space. No windows, no easy ways in or out. Multiple defense layers, cutting through outer hull in 3, Min-seo said. A special laser began to work. Quiet, precise, cutting a small hole that would be invisible to Krell sensors. The hole was just big enough for a human to slip through. Jae-won went first, then Hyun-ki, then 2 more team members. Their special suits made them almost invisible. Their movements were slow, careful. Inside, the station was cold and dark. Blue-green lights made everything look strange. Metal walls, strange sounds from alien machinery. Krell guards walked past. They did not see the humans. Min-seo's technology worked perfectly. But then something happened. A Krell guard stopped, turned. Something felt wrong. Jae-won knew they had seconds. He moved fast. His special weapon fired. A quiet pulse that disabled the guard's communication systems. The guard fell. No sound. No alarm. They moved deeper into the station. More guards. more challenges, but they were prepared. Hyun-ki used special devices to block communication signals. Min-seo hacked into the station's computer systems. Doors opened, closed, moved in ways they should not. Then they found the hostage area. Humans were kept in special energy cells. They looked tired, scared, but alive. "We're here to get you out," Jae-won said quietly. The hostages looked surprised. Some did not believe what was happening. Min-seo worked quickly. Her fingers flew over alien computer systems. Energy cells began to open. But more Krell guards were coming. "We have limited time," Hyun-ki warned. The rescue was working, but it was not complete. They had to move fast. Jae-won helped people move. Some hostages were weak. Some were injured, but they were going home. Explosions began to sound. The Krell were trying to stop them. "Move," Jae-won shouted. Their ship waited. A way out. A chance to escape. The first group of hostages began to move. Then more. Slowly. Carefully. They were going home. They were being saved. By people who refused to give up. By people who broke all the rules. By humans. Alarms screamed through the Krell detention station. Red lights flashed everywhere. The station's metal walls seemed to shake with anger. Jae-won knew they were running out of time. "Move faster," he shouted to the rescued hostages. Hyun-ki covered their escape. His special weapon fired quick bursts that disabled Krell technology. Doors opened, closed. Computers went crazy. Min-seo's fingers flew across her computer system. She was fighting a digital battle. Krell computer networks tried to stop them. She pushed back. Then they met the Krell leader. He was huge, bigger than any Krell they had seen before. Metal armor covered his body. His eyes looked like burning blue lights. "Humans," the Krell leader said, "you dare to break our rules." Jae-won stood his ground. "We came for our people," he answered. The Krell leader laughed. It was not a happy sound. "You think you can fight us? We are advanced. We are powerful." Yoon-ji Kim, who had joined the rescue team at the last moment, stepped forward. "We are human," she said. "We do not give up." The confrontation was intense. The Krell leader had a weapon that could destroy entire ships. But humans had something else. Something the Krell did not understand. Determination. Hyun-ki threw a special device. It looked like a small metal ball. But it was much more. It created a massive electronic pulse. Krell technology died around them. The leader's weapon failed. "Impossible," the Krell leader shouted. Jae-won knew they had seconds. "Everyone to the ship," he yelled. Rescued hostages moved fast. Some helped others who were weak. They worked together. They moved as one. Min-seo's computer system created a digital wall. Krell security systems went crazy. Doors opened and closed randomly. Alarms sang crazy songs. The Krell leader tried to stop them, but he could not. Their ship began to move, slowly at first, then faster. Explosions happened behind them. The Krell station began to break apart. "We're getting out of here," Jae-won said. Yoon-ji checked the rescued hostages. Most were safe. Some were injured, but they were alive. The ship moved faster. Space became a blur of dark and light. "We did it," Hyun-ki said quietly. Min-seo smiled. Her technology had worked perfectly. They had broken every rule. They had done the impossible. They had saved their people. As their ship flew into the darkness of space, Jae-won looked at his team. They were not just a rescue team. They were a family. They had shown the universe what humans could do, no matter the cost. The United Earth Council chamber was silent. Too silent. Jae-won stood at the center. Behind him, Hyun-ki and Min-seo waited. Their rescued colleagues sat in the back of the room. Some still looked tired. Some looked angry. Admiral Ta Wu-li's face was red, not from anger, from shame. "You broke every rule," he said slowly. every single diplomatic protocol. Yoon-ji Kim spoke first. "We saved 47 human lives," she said. 47 people who would be dead if we had waited. News had spread quickly. The rescue was not a secret anymore. People across human space were talking, watching, listening. Social media exploded. Videos of the rescue mission went everywhere. People saw how a small team had done what entire governments could not. "The Krell Collective demands punishment," another council member said. He looked nervous. Jae-hwan stepped forward. "They attacked first," he said. "They took innocent people. We rescued them." The room was divided. Some council members looked angry. Some looked impressed. Some looked scared. "You used unauthorized technology," Admiral Lee said. "You entered a restricted space station. You destroyed Krell property." Hyun-ki spoke quietly. "We saved our people," he said. Min Seo had prepared everything. Digital records, video proof, information about the Krell attack. She had made sure they could not be easily dismissed. The media was having a field day. Headlines everywhere. Rug team saves hostages. Humans break rules to rescue their own. The mission nobody thought was possible. Public opinion was clear. People supported the rescue team. "We should court-martial them," one council member said. "We should give them a medal," said another. Yoon-ji Kim presented the full report, every detail, every moment of the mission. She was calm, professional, but her eyes showed pride. The rescued hostages told their stories, how they were treated, how they thought they would die, how this small team had saved them. Admiral Lee looked defeated. The old ways of thinking were dying. Humans were changing, becoming something more. "What do we do now?" someone asked. Jae-hwan knew the answer. "We get stronger," he said. "We prepare. We show the universe that humans protect their own." The Krell Collective was angry. They demanded punishment, but they also knew something important. Humans were not weak. Humans would fight. News channels showed the rescue mission over and over. People saw how a small team had done the impossible. "We have a message for the Krell," Jae-hwan said. "And for anyone else who wants to hurt humans." The message was simple. Do not mess with humanity. The council would decide their fate, but the people had already made their choice. They were heroes. 6 months had passed since the rescue mission. Jae-hwan Park sat in a small office. Sunlight came through the window. Outside, people moved about their normal lives. They had no idea how close they had been to a bigger conflict. Things had changed, a lot. The United Earth Diplomatic Corps looked different now, more aggressive, more ready to protect human interests. The rescue mission had become a turning point. Hyun-ki Choi worked now as a special advisor. He trained new teams, taught them how to think differently, how to be creative, how to break rules when rules needed to be broken. Min Seo Park had become a technology leader. Her special sensors and communication systems were now standard in human space operations. The Krell technology that once seemed impossible to beat was now something humans understood. Yoon-ji Kim had been promoted. She now led a new department, a department focused on rapid response and unconventional solutions. The Krell Collective was quiet. They did not want another conflict. They had learned something important about humans. Humans would fight. Humans would protect their own. In the office, Jae-hwan read the latest reports. The rescued hostages were doing well. Some had returned to their jobs. Some had become advocates. All of them told the same story, a story of hope, a story of survival. A special memorial was built. Not a big statue, not something fancy, just a simple wall with names. The names of people who were saved. The names of the team who did the saving. "We did something important," Hyun-ki told Jae-hwan during a meeting. Jae-hwan nodded. He knew what they had done was more than just a rescue mission. They had changed how humans saw themselves, how the universe saw humans. The technology Min Seo developed was now used everywhere. Ships, stations, defense systems, Her work had changed everything. New diplomatic protocols were created, faster response times, better protection for human citizens in space. The old slow systems were gone. The Krell were more careful now. They knew humans were not just another species to push around. "We showed them what humans can do," Min Seo said during a team reunion. They met sometimes, the rescue team. They would have dinner, talk about old times, remember what they had done. Jae-hwan looked at his team. They were more than colleagues now. They were family. The universe had learned something. Humans might follow rules, but when it mattered, when lives were at stake, humans would do whatever it took. Outside the window, a new human spaceship prepared for launch. It looked different, stronger, more prepared. The rescue mission was over, but its impact was just beginning. Humans had changed, and the universe would never be the same.